on reflection, it wasn't a shock because we didn't know what was ahead of us. So I got sacked / made redundant in 2008. Okay.
Oh wow.
Which, I don't need to tell anybody what was going on in 2008.
Yeah.
If you're in the world, you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But for me, it was almost, when you talk about the emotion, it was this feeling of, wow, like I've worked this hard and then I've just been let go at the worst possible time. And at the time, I just got a mortgage as well. So it was...
Oh, wow. Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Jobs. My name is Francis Sarimo, and my goal is to help people get the career and the salary they deserve. So today I'm with Ken from The Humble Penny. And Ken, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great, especially because I've got you to talk to.
Ken, you are too kind. So we consider it to be a privilege that you decided to be a part of this. Such an honor. Thank you so much.
No, seriously, I'm honored. This is going to be fun. Let's have a good chat.
Definitely. So my number one question, and the question I ask all my guests is: have you been fired or made redundant before?
Absolutely. Yes.
I love the fact.
Who hasn't, man? Come on,
Yeah. No, totally. So what was the feelings or emotions? We're not going to go too much into the story now.
Yeah.
Just want to kind of touch on the feelings and emotions you had.
Do you know what? It came as a shock. And then again, saying that, on reflection, it wasn't a shock because we didn't know what was ahead of us. So I got sacked / made redundant in 2008. Okay.
Oh wow.
Which, I don't need to tell anybody what was going on in 2008.
Yeah.
If you're in the world, you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
For me, it was almost, when you talk about the emotion, it was this feeling of, wow, like I've worked this hard and then I've just been let go at the worst possible time. And at the time, I just got a mortgage as well. So it was a mixture of panic, fear, and just shock.
Oh wow! Okay, that's exciting. We're definitely going to do go into that. So before we do, I want to go back a little bit. Let's reverse. Do you remember your first job that you had? You're laughing already.
Yeah, I'm laughing because this question is interesting. For me, it's a different type of question. So I'm thinking, are you talking about my first legit job, or are you talking about just the first job I did to kind of put some bread on the table?
The first job that you did that you got paid. So as long as you got paid for it, then it counts. Doesn't count when your mum says go and wash the dishes.
Exactly. So the first job, and I have so much to talk about on this particular job. But anyway, first job I was a cleaner at a paper factory in Waltham.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how much did you get paid?
So I got paid, I worked for that job for just 1 week, cash in hand, and I got paid £80. That was it. I got about £80. But anyway, there's a whole backstory behind why I wanted that job.
So they paid you £80. That's hilarious.
And I just walked away.
So wait, how many hours did you do that week that you got £80?
Gosh, do you know what? I just know that I kept going back and going back. I just can't even remember how many hours I did. All I remember was a brown envelope. I got given this thing at the back of the factory, took it, opened it, looked at it, thought, yes, this is it. I'm in business. This is it. I've been paid, man. This is my first bit of money. And that money had a purpose. It was to buy my first.
Talk to me about that. So why was this job so important?
Pair of cool trainers. Because I tell you why. It's a funny story, right? Because when you're an immigrant to a country and you don't have all the cool things, you get picked on a lot, And I got picked on a lot by the other kids because I just didn't have the cool things. I just didn't look like anybody you wanted to speak to, really. But I thought perhaps if I got myself a pair of really shiny trainers, one of the ones I'd seen all the guys wearing, the cool guys wearing, then I might get some of the girls talking to me.
Yeah.
So that job had a purpose, which was to go and buy myself a pair of neon blue Reebok Classics.
No, you didn't buy neon blue.
I kid not. No, seriously.
No,
In
you
fact, there's a
didn't do
post
that.
on Instagram, which you should go and have a look at it. You see a picture of me wearing those pair of trainers. And it was bright blue with a green tick on it. And I bought it just so that I could get noticed.
Wow. That is so crazy. Okay, so then I guess my question is, did it work?
Some of the guys thought I looked all right, but
okay.
I didn't get a single girl speaking to me. So
wow.
There you have it, man. But at least, I went for it,
I love that story. I love that story. It's such a good story. Quick question: what area did you live at the time?
Walthamstow, East London.
Okay, so it wasn't too far from your house.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't like a long commute. Okay, fair enough.
No, it's Walthamstow in East London. It's where I lived. It's where I kind of started off.
Okay.
Then gradually moved south. So
fair enough. I started off south and gradually moved north, but that's a story all by itself. Yeah. Okay, so talk to me. Did you go university? What university did you go to if you went?
Yes, I went college and then I went to, I got in through clearing into City University in London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, got in through clearing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My A-levels were maths, chemistry and biology, which were meant for medicine. But then I thought, forget that. I'm going to go down kind of finance because I did well in maths A-levels. So go on for A-level maths. And the teacher said to me, you might be good at like banking or finance or accounting. And I thought, oh, I didn't know anyone, not even a single black person, let alone there's nobody I knew who'd had any of those jobs. I went down that path through clearing, got into economics and accounting as my degree.
Oh, wow.
And started that journey.
So then after university, when you graduated, what was your kind of first job?
First proper job. This is a job that had a pay slip. Was that?
No more brown envelopes.
Yeah. No more brown envelopes. So this is the job that had a pay slip, which is that I became a trainee. This is a posh job. A trainee chartered accountant. I even had a contract, a training contract, and everything. It's a proper job. I had to wear a suit and a tie. And it was August 2006. That's when I started.
Wow. Okay. So how much was you getting paid?
£28,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
28. That's a real job. That's a proper job. 28,000. Yep. Okay. Do you move out on 28,000? Do you live by yourself? Or are you still living with parents?
I was still living at home.
Yeah.
But then I moved. I bought my own place as soon as I qualified, which was that 2008 period.
Okay.
2006, 2008, I was
training
knee deep in exams and training as an accountant. You've got all these very difficult exams you've got to do as a chartered accountant. So I spent that 2.5 years, meant to be 3 years, but I finished early.
Wow.
Just basically acing these exams. I passed them all first time. Then I thought, hey, I'm done with these exams. I'm going to become now a fully fledged chartered accountant, start earning the big bucks.
Yeah.
The big bucks was around 42,000 back
wow.
in 2008. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to start earning that big bucks. But then there was a shock. This is where I got sacked.
Okay, so this is during the recession right now.
Correct. This is the great financial crisis. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, so just so I got this right. So, you struggle for 2 years to finally get qualified as a fully-fledged accountant, and then the great kind of big recession happens, or the financial crisis.
Straight away.
Then what happens with your employment?
Right. So and this is so interesting, going through the redundancy thing. It's so interesting looking back on that. I kind of think to myself, wow. We got paid out. So I got 3 months pay. And I thought, wow, this is cash. This is cash. It's in my bank. Then I thought, what if I could find a job before my 3 months money runs out?
Yeah.
So I got totally nuts. I went on LinkedIn. I got that LinkedIn, I think it's called LinkedIn Pro or Premium or something.
Yeah.
Where you can use it and like keep up with people and like network and stuff. So I went nuts looking for jobs. And within 1 month, bro, I got myself an incredible job. That job was as a management accountant for a company called Octopus. I know them today. They're a big, really big investment management company.
Yeah.
And I was their first ever black male employee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, showed up. So at that position, I basically was in a place where I had basically still had some of my redundancy money left over.
Yeah.
But I'd now got myself an even better job than the one I had when I got made redundant. So yeah, things can happen in recessions, you know. But, if you're really determined, like you can still break through it. This is still my message today, even to people who are fearful about their jobs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I feel that that's important to highlight because as we're in uncertain times as of right now, quite a lot of people have been put on furlough or already been offered redundancies. And so some people are just unsure about their roles and everything else. And I guess you've proven, and bearing in mind, this was 2008. And looking for a job was much harder than it is now. I mean, you mentioned LinkedIn and they're amazing, but then we have Indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are so many other kind of platforms out there that has like a long list of jobs, and so yeah, definitely. Yeah. So just very quickly, help me to understand after doing working for Octopus, how long did you work for them for?
I worked there for just over 2 years.
Okay. And I know that you got the Humble Penny and the Joy Financial Joy Academy as well. Like, when did that start in that journey?
Yeah.
How? Yeah.
So the Humble Penny kicked off in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. My time at Octopus finished in 2011.
Okay. And so between that 6-year period, was there any kind of major companies that you really enjoyed, or any funny stories you want to tell us about?
I'm going to tell you, right? So when I left that company where I was working at Octopus, I left because I couldn't see myself moving up as quickly as I wanted. So I left for more money. So at that point, I think I was making about 47,000. I wanted more of an income. So I left, and there was a job I found for me to become a financial controller for a company, which is quite a big jump for someone like me at that time. So I went ahead. Yeah. I thought, I'm just going to go for it. Got into that job, obviously a big pay rise as a result of it. I ended up staying at that job for 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
But listen, that job changed my life. I tell you why, because I got super tactical at that job. I managed to get them to fund me to do an MBA at Cambridge.
Oh, wow.
And they'd never done it in the history of the company before. I wrote them a proposal, I wrote a pitch, did my presentation, did it, applied to Cambridge, went through their whole process, the business school, got accepted. I thought, whoa, and I now need to go and find 70K. So I then went off, pitched my employer, somehow through the pitching got 30K from there, carried on, pitched my mom, got 10K, carried on pitching. And through doing all those things, I went and I suddenly, through that job I was in those 5 years, I was able to, in 2 of those 5 years, was doing an executive MBA at the Judge Business School at Cambridge, which completely changed my life because, it gave me a huge amount of confidence, introduced me to a whole new world of people. And it was just really about understanding stuff rather than kind of knowledge when I was at university and stuff. Uni was about knowledge. I always say kind of the additional education was more about understanding. So I picked that particular job because I took some risks in that job that changed my life, basically.
Oh, wow. So after working with them, and then what was your most recent role?
So there were 2 most recent roles. One was I was the UK finance director for a NASDAQ listed company They're kind of European subsidiary. So I was their UK finance director.
Yeah.
And that job was, it was interesting because it gave me international travel, which is kind of like tick on that wish list. So I was able to fly every quarter to Pennsylvania, to
Nice.
Philadelphia, and then to a place called Oaks. And it was a good opportunity, but there was definitely an itch in there in that job where I thought to myself, yeah, this is not really what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
This is kind of where I started to think about something else. Is where the humble penny kind of started to come into my consciousness.
Yeah.
Because I believe it'd been in my subconscious, but it started to become more of a conscious thing that I wanted to actually bring into reality. In fact, the idea for the humble penny really took root. If I had to think about a moment, it took root at 36,000 feet when I flew the British Airways flight from London to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I never forget the moment. I even took a picture of the skies because I wanted to remember that moment.
Wow.
And I was reading a couple of books, a book called Designing Your Life.
Yeah.
Another book called 3 Feet from Gold. I was reading those two books on that flight, and I said to myself, I believe I'm being called to do something bigger.
So I have to ask you, because I know I'm not the only one wondering. Was you in economy, premium economy, business class?
It was premium economy.
Okay.
It was British Airways premium economy. So they had good food. And this is the most I'd ever been on, to be honest. I'd never been on anything beyond the economy. So for me, because I think that the trick was, if you did more than 8 hours flight, you could go on premium economy.
Yeah.
You get more leg room and what have you. So that was cool, because you get proper, like the cutlery and all that stuff was really nice. And you had a proper table and stuff, which is actually quite nice. But that flight was really instrumental for me, because that flight I've never forgotten. And I sat there and I wrote an entire blog post, and that blog post was why I am choosing to start this thing that would become the Humble Penny.
Wow.
And that was the beginning. That was how kind of my career started to connect. And obviously I then decided to run the Humble Penny parallel to my day job.
Yeah.
Side hustle.
Yeah. So I really want to kind of like dig into the Humble Penny a little bit. So when you wrote that post, or you wrote it on that flight, what was your plans with it? Like what is Humble Penny? Like what was your thoughts? What was the thought that you had? Like, was it, would you say 35,000 feet up in the air?
Yeah.
What was those?
So here's the thought. I've written it. I've pumped myself up. I was like, I'm going to start a blog. That blog's going to be all about money. Didn't know what it was going to be called. And I was pumped up. I said, when I land, I'm going to post on Facebook. I'm going to share it with everybody I know to say, hey, look, I'm going public. I'm doing this thing. And then, of course, imposter syndrome kicks in. I thought, like, who are you to be like thinking that you're good enough to be teaching people about money? Like, you're a black guy. What black guys do you know run personal finance website? And look at your last name anyway. Who can pronounce your last name? Like, who would care about what you're doing? This is the inner thought.
Yeah.
I called my sister up. My sister kept, and I've never forgotten the word, she kept shouting down the phone. Because I'd drafted the message on Facebook and about to post it. And she kept shouting, jump, jump, jump. She was saying, this is it, do it. Because if you don't, you'll regret it. And that was as soon as I posted that, you can go, if you go on my Facebook timeline, go and look. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, Francis. Go and look.
We will be after this.
Go back to the 3rd of December, 2017.
Yeah.
That you'll find that post where I went to everybody, yay, this is it. I'm starting this thing called the Humble Penny. And I don't know where it's going to take me, but hey, it's going to be fun. And my wife, by the way, I have to always mention this. During our brainstorm, my wife came up with that name, the Humble Penny. And we bought the domain name and kind of started out.
Wow. That's amazing. I actually wanted to touch on your wife a little bit. So I just want to kind of go backwards a little bit, right? So when did you meet your wife?
October 2009.
October 2009.
Yeah. So a bit after my redundancy and all of that stuff, and life was starting to tick along, get a little bit better. Mary then came into my life. We met at a property investing seminar.
Amazing.
So of all places to meet, and it was fantastic. We became friends, and I thought, wow, I can't believe she's single, but hallelujah, she's single. And I said, you know what? If we carry on going out for 1 year, I'm going to propose. So, 27th of December 2010, I proposed. It's a combination of I've been putting a lot into the education, because that has played a big role in my path. First class degree, first time passes chartered accountancy. And I've worked hard, but nothing had started to really happen. But also what really happened with meeting Mary was that it gave me much more of a purpose, because I started to take life a lot more. I started to feel a lot more excited about life. I had a potential life partner now, and the journey ahead could be like even better. There'd be two of us and not just me. So all of that together, it's just been a massive snowball of just, there's no single year, Francis, I can point to, and it being super transparent, there's no single year that I can't point to a major life-changing event that's happened since 2009. We're in 2020 doing this.
Wow.
Every single year, something major happened. It was either, got promoted, or Mary and I bought a house, or we did an investment, or like we started this, or we started that, or we had a baby, or like every year there has been a life transforming event, at least one, like things you go, wow, that's like a wish list thing. It happened because we were doing it together. So I always like to mention that, because I hope that encourages people who are in relationships, or who are trying to build things up, in that it really can change your life if you really pursue the thing together without selfish ambition. But you kind of you're really trying, you're seeing, we call it our family visions. This is family vision. And we had a 10-year goal. I mean, I'm saying this, I haven't talked to you about this before, but Mary and I had a 10-year goal. 2009/10. It's good to see that goal come into place. And a big part of that goal was for us to become financially independent, to live life.
So you've been saying a lot about financial independence, right? And so I really wanna, when did you decide that, this is something I want to do personally, and why was it so important? And what does that look like?
In October 2009. In that conference where I met Mary.
Really? So literally in that conference.
That conference was a conference for people who wanted to become financially independent. But to do it via property investing. So we met in a place where, basically at a stage of our lives where our mindsets were already aligned, in that we knew, Mary is born in Hackney, growing up to immigrant parents, and just wanted a radically different life. I'm first generation immigrant, to first generation immigrant parents. So like there were, our stories were very, very similar, and so were our desires. So we knew from the get-go that we want to do life very differently. And I never forget, in January 2010, Mary and I were in an island called Zanzibar in Tanzania.
I've been to Zanzibar. Amazing island.
It's a part of it called Pongwe. We sat on the beach planning our lives on that island.
I love it.
This is where the shape of the 10-year life vision began. We hadn't even got married. We were going to get married in August, but this was January. This is like 8 months before. We were in Zanzibar. We were planning. We didn't have the money. We didn't have the things you see today. We didn't have anything, but we had the desire. So there was no, we didn't know the how it was going to happen. We had the why we wanted it to happen.
So I so want to touch on like what are some of the things that you guys planned to have? Like one or two of those things. Can you share it with us?
Straight away, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
One was we wanted a house with its own front door that we could walk to without climbing stairs, i.e., we didn't want a flat. What we wanted was a home you could walk to and open the door with your keys and walk straight in.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that, which is why mortgage freedom has been, we paid off our mortgage last year on this house. This house I'm making this call from is the house that was part of that vision.
Yeah.
Because we wanted that home because no one in our, first of all, it took forever for anyone in our family to own a home. Everybody was renting. At best, you were renting, So it took forever to actually own a home. So we wanted to change that game. Like, how can we own our own home? But own it quicker than anyone we've ever known has ever done it. Like, own it outright.
Yeah.
That was one of our dreams.
So walk me there's so many things, but with concerns to paying off your mortgage.
Yeah.
So how long was the original length of the mortgage, and 25 years. And
25 years.
And how quickly did you pay off?
7 years. Seven and a bit.
Okay, and so just so we understand, how big is the house? Like roughly?
Yeah, so we're living in a 4-bed house.
Wow.
And we paid off, we worked this out this year, a total of between 380 and 390,000 pounds.
Wow.
So it's 60,000 pound in interest, and the rest was just capital.
Wow. And so that was, and you did that in 7 years.
7 years.
So how did you go about doing that? I mean, was you earning $1 million a week? Like, how do you do that? How do you?
So it was a relentless focus on career maximization.
Yeah.
So growth in both our careers to the best that we could.
Yeah.
Focus on alternative sources of income. So side hustles and things like that. But beyond all of that, being good stewards of our money.
Yeah.
So by that I mean having a game plan.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people make money, but that money doesn't fit into a game plan. And that for us, that game plan was that vision we had, which is we want to own this home outright. We actually thought we'd do it in maybe 15 years. And then it became 12 years. And then it became 10 years. And we're like, oh, hang on. What if we could do it a lot quicker? And it became almost like this massive, you want to make it happen, because you're basically rewriting history. For us, we're rewriting history in the same generation. And our kids, they've got no clue they haven't got a clue what it actually means yet, in terms of what it's able to create for us, the possibilities. But it was, I made a video about this on YouTube, actually, by the way, in case anyone's not come across this, they can watch an entire video about kind of what we did in terms of the tactics. So the strategy was career maximization, alternative sources of income, overpayments, and being very savvy. A lot of people go, oh no, you can't pay more than 10% on your mortgage and all this stuff. I'm like, that's what you think, but you can play the game differently. You can pay off things at the end of your mortgage term, its term and what have you. The different ways you can play the game. So for us, it was really about just exploring alternative ways to achieve our goal. Yeah.
This is okay. So I want to go back to your career, right? Because you spoke about kind of maximizing your career. That was one of your goals, as well as the side hustle. So I'm going to talk about the Humble Penny in a second. I want to pause that and the Joy Academy. Really excited stuff. I want to hear about that. But with concerns to your career, so you're doing this kind of blog, and you're working.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, was work supportive? What did that look like? And what did your day look like as well? So what was that kind of?
So In short, work were not supportive. is the best way to put it. They, let's just say, were not big fans.
Okay.
Because, like, you know, I'm a chief financial officer. Like, what's a chief financial officer doing? Like, writing blogs and making YouTube videos and things that might not be considered respectful things for a chartered executive person to be doing. So they were not really that. They were not big fans. What was my day like? So I'd leave home I'd wake up typically at 4:30 or 5 a.m.
Wow.
I'd put in about 2 hours in the morning. At around 6:30, I would get one of our children ready, whilst my wife would get the other child ready. At 7 a.m. on the dot, I'd leave, head off to catch the 7:21 train with the aim of being in the office at 8:30, 8:45. Then I'd work from that time all through, and during my lunch break, I'd eat at my desk and work on my side hustle. I'd then get home, I'd leave work around 5:30 on a good day. On a terrible day, it might carry it to about 7:30. But either way, I'd get home on a good day, travel 2-hour commute into Kent and back around 8 p.m.-ish, 7:30, 8 p.m.-ish. Just about meeting the evening routine, giving kids a bath and talking and so on, doing a bit of homework. And then they go to bed. Mary and I were just so tired, have some dinner. Then I'd put in another 1 to 2 hours into my side thing in the evening. So typically I'd go to bed on a good day, 10:30 on a good day. So I was definitely sleeping a lot less than 8 hours a day. And then at the weekends, I'd then again dive in and work on that side hustle on Saturdays, in between taking our kids to music school and all the other things that they do, you know, find those slots to fit in 3-4 hours active work, and then repeat again the next week.
Wow. That sounds crazy. So I guess
full on.
So talk to. I'm really interested in. So you moved from the financial controller to it was the UK director.
The UK FD, the UK finance director.
Mm-hmm. And then you moved to CFO role.
Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so as a CFO, like, how does that salary compare to the £80 a week that you got?
Oh, bro. Listen. Do you know what it is? It's weird, because it's a weird thing about getting richer in life is that I just hope this is received well. It's that life gets easier. So I'll tell you why. So as somebody in leadership, and anyone who's done a C-level role and so on will kind of know this, but in those positions, although you're there as the decision maker, you have a team working with you. So you have a lot of delegating and, you know, stuff like that. So in terms of income, my income was in, you know, kind of hitting that 200K mark per year.
Wow.
But compared to, and that's total comp.
Yeah.
But then compared to, say, my old life, where I was in a factory thing, it was a very different world, you know.
Yeah.
But in this world, I had a lot more responsibility and stuff like that. Let's not forget, you know, where you're making a 6-figure income, you're also paying a ton in tax as well.
Of course.
You know, you find that, you know, sometimes in fact, my annual tax bill was more than a lot of people's annual salary, you know, because you're just paying a lot away in income tax because you're in a much higher income bracket. So yeah, different world, but that's, and I want to just mention, and this is the thing, because I want people to realize what's important to note is the transformation. And that transformation hasn't come about because, like, somehow I just walked into these jobs. I had to go kick those doors down, Francis. I had to go, like, many doors were shut. Many doors were like, no, we don't want you. He wants a black CFO. Many doors were shut. But you've got to keep persisting. You've got to keep and I had this thing, and there's a big mindset shift for me, which was around income goals. And I always ask people, like, what is your income goal for the year? Like, how much do you want to make? Because I remember when I said to myself, first of all, I had this imposter syndrome of, can I make a six-figure income? Can someone like me really make six figures? Like, what would it take? You know, so I had a six-figure game plan. I was like, if I want to make this six-figure thing, how do I do it? Outside of just salary, like, how else could I do it, you know? And once I'd broken that, I did it just before I was 30. Once I'd broken that perceived self-imposed ceiling, once I'd broken that, it was then a case of, oh, like, I've done it now. Like that wasn't as difficult. Like, how else can I like take this to a whole new level? And when I talk about financial independence, note that career maximization was a strategy, because what that did was the more money we made, our lifestyle remained flat. We did not have lifestyle creep. That's the key. That's the key, almost, if I had to call it, key point, you know. For most people, you say, oh, yeah, I'm making more money now, so I'm going to go and buy myself.
I'm going to get a Rolex, I'm going to get a Bentley.
Yeah, I'm going to go and get, you know, I'm like, in fact, my dad, I forget, I love my dad to bits. My dad said to me, he said, look, you're a CFO. What are you doing driving a Nissan? I've never gotten it. Thought, wow, you know, because this is what most people must think when they see, like, we're driving this secondhand used car, thinking like, Ken, like, you guys can buy a much better car. I'm like, no. What do you mean? This is part of our game plan. That's the thing most people don't understand, because most people don't have a game plan. There's no vision, right? And so they're too busy being distracted by what other people are doing, that they don't actually see what's really happening. And what was really happening was that Mary and I were gradually building up to what we'd been desiring from that beach in Zanzibar. In January 2010,
so crazy.
It was starting to become a reality.
So
and I should mention that was only, all of what I'm saying is only possible because it was a team game. Because when I'm building my career, there are real costs. You know, Mary had to do other things. She had to change career. She had to move into working in our family business, a childcare business. She was raising children, this is a team game, doing things with the kids, doing drop-offs, doing pickups. So I want anyone listening to this to not just think, oh, Ken was doing all these things. No, behind all those things was a support system. That meant that together we were able to see the results.
And so I really wanna. So you, as a CFO, you left that position, right? And then you took the Humble Penny and the Financial Joy Academy as a full-time, and now that is all you do. Your world is revolved around that. And so I wanna kind of understand the Humble Penny and the Financial Joy Academy, how that developed. So and how you got it to a point where you can say, actually, I'd rather leave this six-figure income. So I'm gonna slightly go backwards a little bit, right? So you've put that post out there and you've told all your friends, hey, I wrote this thing, read it. What happened next?
No one cared.
What happens next? What does that look like?
Yeah, so basically no one cared. So Dan was like, it means nothing to anybody. No one cares.
Right.
I then carry on grinding. By that I mean, like, I was publishing 3 articles per week. So I basically started learning a very different skill set. This is the second half of my life, which is I started to learn about digital skills. So how you create content, how you monetize content, how you start to speak to brands, how you build your own brand, how to earn varieties of income, affiliate income, advertising, how you create digital products. So this is a stage of learning. Remember, I've been learning all my life. I've been learning. In fact, I see learning as my escape plan. The escape plan is learning. So I was learning a different skill set, and this skill set was now going to give me a totally different possibility. It was going to turn the Humble Penny into a 99p blog, into something that will become, in Mary and I's minds, an ethical money brand.
Wow.
This is what we wanted to create. We wanted Humble Penny to become an ethical money brand, a respected brand where people think about it. The ordinary man or woman on the street can relate to it. The language is simple. It's there to educate and to transform. We wanted you to feel like you were at home when you visited the Humble Penny. In fact, everything from the colors we've used to the style of the website.
The real question I want to ask is, when did you start seeing success? When did you start seeing traction? When did you start seeing that this is more than just a blog, that people are actually listening to it? And like, what was your kind of the first kind of metrics? Was it at 100 views? What did that look like for you to turn around and say, actually, no, this is something serious?
So the first key KPI was September 2018.
I love the fact you remember all these times.
Wow, so these are life-changing moments, right?
This is a year later. So this is literally almost a year later.
Yeah, okay, I've been grinding for a year.
Yeah.
But again, I had a plan. And
you were still putting out blogs 3 times a week.
Yep, just putting them out.
This is okay, cool, yeah.
Putting them out, and each one takes about 3 hours, to
wow.
But the key metric was that we got approved with a really highly reputable ad management firm called Mediavine. And the key metric was that we had achieved 25,000 sessions per month on our site, i.e.
Wow.
we were having more than 20,000 people visit the blog per month. Wow. So that for me was, because then what that meant was that we'd become monetized, i.e. we now started to receive monthly recurring ad income. Yeah. That's when I knew that this thing is actually a platform, not a blog. Yeah. So the, almost not the unwise person, but the person who doesn't quite discern what we're really doing in terms of the platform we created. It just looks like a website, but there's a lot of economic activity really going on that platform. And so that was our first economic activity, which was we now are getting monthly recurring income. So Mary and I then said, how now do we reinvest that income to help us start to go to the next level, to help us to start to create our own products? This is where we then start to explore the idea of creating online courses. Okay, so we started to survey our audience, understand their pain points, and to create digital products. And the question then became, if you're going to create digital products, how are you going to sell them? How are you going to market them? So we started to build an email list, which is still one of, in fact, the most important asset of our business right now is our email list. Because, the blog is ours, the email list is ours, but our other channels, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, they're not ours. We're kind of like renting them. But the blog and the email list are ours because they help us with negotiations, with brands. So we then start to introduce other revenue streams like sponsorships and blog sponsorships. And so we then moved from zero income to coaching income, advertising incomes, affiliate income, sponsorship income, online course income.
So I want to know, what was the first kind of bit of income and how much was it for?
So the first income was an affiliate revenue for £12.21. That was it.
I love that. That's the best.
It's £12.21. We're like, we've made money. Like this.
I've made money.
We're in business.
Soon to be a millionaire.
We've made some money, and above all of that, we're transforming lives.
I love that.
But remember that's the key primary objective. Then we want the thing to be sustainable. We want it to generate income. And so the fun has been working out, how do I turn this 99p site into something that actually makes income? So the key thing then was, how do we make enough income such that first Mary could quit her job and full time. So in 2019, in the summer, in June, Mary started doing Humble Penny full time. I was doing my full-time job.
Yeah.
The business was making enough to pay her,
yeah,
a bit of an income and stuff like that,
Yeah.
enough of an income. And we then thought, well, how do we take it even more so to the next level?
Yeah.
But remembering, we thought to ourselves, actually, like, and this is where the financial independence piece comes in.
Yeah.
We thought to ourselves, well, hold on, our cost base is so low.
Wow.
We don't have mortgage costs anymore.
Of course.
And we now only have council tax and the Wi-Fi and gas and electric. And we're like, hold on. That means like the risk of leaving my job is actually quite low now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, that's crazy.
So what is it? The question then became, is it that I am attached to my title, CFO, or do I see an altogether bigger vision? Bigger possibility for impact, bigger opportunity.
And
I did.
And
so it then became, do I choose that opportunity, or do I want to carry on just doing life in a predictable way, which is, okay, he's a CFO, he's a this, and all these things, and ticking the career box, or do I want to go on a life adventure? The life adventure was a lot more appealing because it just offered me things I'd always dreamt about doing, the opportunity to just work on my own time. Like, for example, like now, like we do our working hours are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's it. Like,
that's a crazy life. Okay, before we even go into that, I really want to. So this is the crazy thing. So you left your job in March, 2020. April 2020. Even worse. Even worse. So, I mean, the coronavirus has been widespread by now. The UK is about to go into a lockdown or just went into a lockdown, and you turn around and say, I'm going to hand in my notice. Wow. And so, what was going through your mind before you did it? I know you. So I know that financially, you're like, okay, you know what, we're going to be okay. But then, what was going through your mind at the time, just like mentally?
Do you know what?
Yeah,
it was a difficult time.
Yeah,
a time like I'd never had in my life before. I'll tell you why. I still had the demands of work.
Of course.
Except it was even worse because you can't see your work colleagues and you're having to do all these Zoom phone calls and all these things. Secondly, and this is the thing that really, two things, was I now had to homeschool.
Yeah.
Very demanding. Our kids, love them to bits. They're highly demanding, 5 and 7-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Homeschooling, and their school that they attend, they don't mess about. They want the work done by 2 p.m. and you've got to scan it and send it to them.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. And then on top of that, the humble penny was really taking off.
Yeah.
We'd launched a YouTube channel. We'd done all these
things. Talk to me about YouTube channel. How many subscribers you got right about now?
About 31,000. And we started January with about 4,000. So we're in we're in September.
Yeah.
So we've seen like almost 10x growth in like 10 months.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so with that growth came the need to keep creating high quality,
of course.
the need to keep showing up, the need to keep thinking now as a business, because like you're now in like it or not, in a spotlight, and you have to really think about what you're doing properly. You have to think of processes, system, basically all the bread and butter stuff I've been learning as a CFO.
Yeah.
So the question then became, Francis, am I confident enough in myself to back myself?
Yeah.
That's the key question. Because I believe everybody in their career journey will come to a point where they ask themselves that question, which is, do you believe in yourself enough to back yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this pandemic, and the way I've always looked at life is life presents you two gifts. You know, there's a blessing and there's a burden, always happening at the same time. Always. And in our case, the burden was this thing we're all going through. But for me, I thought there's a blessing in this. The blessing for me is, imagine if I could like do this full time. Wow. And like have all the fun I want and like turn this into a proper like machine, you know, like really go all out, really build that brand, really create impact, but build it around a core mission. Yeah. In January 2020, Mary and I had a mission, which is we set ourselves a mission for the decade, because January 2020 was the start of a new decade. And we said, we are going to help, and Mary picked the number. 10,000 families. Wow. Become financially independent this decade. Yeah. That's the number. In fact, Mary, I was going to make a point, actually thought that number was she said, we will do more than that. It's how she sees it. But I settled on 10K because I thought, you know. And this is, again, putting yourself out there. This is the thing about risk taking is a lot of people don't get anywhere in life because they don't want to put themselves out there. Like, what if I fail? What if I get judged? What if, like, all these what ifs? Like, no one cares about your what ifs, you know? You can like work it out. But like, is the vision, first of all, big enough, and is it clear enough? Yeah. For us, we thought we can't fully see it yet, but we know we can do it. This is where Financial Joy Academy really came into the picture as a sister company to the Humble Penny, because we needed a vehicle for a different type of person, a person who truly wants to take action, who wants to and of course, that vehicle is a vehicle that is something that people pay for. It's a service. Yeah. And so that further helped to make the Humble Penny more of a sustainable offering, something that generated even more of an income and stuff like that. And that's been a big part of our focus really is in bringing that vision into the present, basically. So I really, what I really want to do, and I really appreciate your time and all the stuff that you said. This has been an amazing talk. I really want to help people that they may not want to do or go into the kind of the blog and create like that platform. They may want to stick within the kind of the be a CFO. They want to be stick in that financial sector. And so what do you feel are some of the top 5 things that help? Because you would have been, I mean, you're the youngest CFO that I know. And you're the only CFO. You're the only CFO. Youngest black CFO. Sorry, I just stressed that. I was literally about to say you're the only CFO that is black that I know as well. And so I know one other CFO that's black, but you know that he is probably double your age. And so I would love for you to kind of talk to me about that. Give me like the top like 5 things from where I am today. That if I want to walk into that position of a CFO, what are the things that I need? What are the things that you did? How did you get from where you were as a chartered accountant to where you became a CFO?